blessed ones of the nations of the world. Akwaba, Akwaba, Allen, Sahalen, Shagitam, welcome, Ngandoni, Benvindo, you are welcome. Kuso the world is an Senyo Okukulaba, Mauya Mingalaba, Boye, Malamu, Karibu, Ekabo, no, o Sanu de Zua, Emquam de Hena, Mitas, Duburo, Pezaluvan, Bine I Binit, Barigalus, Vita Iche, Ayubon, Dobridoya, welcome, Estan, Hozut, Walang Anuman. Bienvenue, bienvenido, namaste, swagata. Kush amadid, Baruch, haba marhaba, wanyong hamnida, wanying nyejeko, anime nyejeko, we zolo mia wezo, akwaba to the program, Testimony New World Disorder, and akwaba to the continuation of part 1 of the very first anniversary of the political and contractual killing of Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO. This is the continuation of part 1. Part 3 shall be what to do. The part 3, when we are watching, we would hear that part 2. But it is actually part 3 that is what to do. It was recorded on the 28th. This is being recorded on the 29th, again the 30th. In part 3, which is what to do, you will hear me speaking as though the part 3 was recorded on the 30th. Just like we might think that this is being recorded on the 30th, this is being recorded on 29th, and then I'll make them available on the 30th, on the exact day that my reverend was politically and contractually murdered. So, humanity and the nations of the world. A little background to the killing of Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO. There are Ghanaians that are so close to me, based on how much I was sharing with them. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his attitude, they were feeling so uncomfortable. There are those who know very well that their loved ones, their lives have been taken in secrecy by the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. They know, but however, because there is a political side of this killing of Ghanaian people, the diplomatic side and the religious side, the repression and the suppression continues, and the Ghanaian people continue to be killed in secrecy. And the truth is never being spoken, and we continue to be killed. The hatred for me continues to make my loved ones be killed. So let's go on the killing of Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO. We have established that a decision was made, just like a decision was made to kill Jesus, just like a decision was made to kill me by the US undercover agent, the CIA, the terror network of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in the year 2011, by the mind of my own brother, Samuel Sarkodie. In the same way is how a decision was made to kill Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO. Now, let's listen. We left off at the 6 Philo Street, Lebanon Zone 2, where I eventually, when God saved my life from the murder plot by Moses Alobu, the terrorist of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, bullet owning, pistols possessing, guns hoarding preacher, who is getting our people killed in secrecy. When God has saved me out of their plot, their next strategy is to tactically be eliminating people around me, people that are so close, people that I'm exposing them to, getting them tactically, their family members eliminated from life, killing them in secrecy. And their final strategy to make sure that they have instilled so much fear in me, to silence me completely, was to kill my Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO. Because Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo the terror network of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the CID boss, who put a permanent CID woman, a witch. They were providing men to sex her up, to stay up and get me. Aid Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to get me killed. Oman Benin na ni bibia omu yedzen na all night to aid to get me killed. CID woman. Nana Tiwa Addo Dankwa. In part 2, part 3, I said you are a witch. I said in part 3. And now let me say this in part, so you know that as we are paid for. So Ghana, they decided to take their killing to the house of God. And that would be the last straw that would break the camel's back, that would break my back. And they will cripple me forever. And I would dare not speak anymore. Never will I send any document to the Flagstaff House, Jubilee House, Confused House. Never will I send any document to the International Criminal Court, to the United Nations, Office of the UN Secretary General. Never will I send when they have done such barbarous killing of my pastor, whom they believe that he was using the pulpit in guiding me, in hinting me to know the plans of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for me. That was their belief, but there was no single truth in it. Assemblies of God Church, Ghana, the family of Reverend Mrs. Comfort NABEGMADO, all noble people of Ghana. Ebony was killed. Sex and the Park with Santa was killed in secrecy. Just like Kaba was killed. Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO, I'm giving us one sure proof to let the family of Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO know that a decision was made to kill Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO long before he was killed. And as over 10 years before the killing, God led me to write, to hint the world about the death of Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO in a book called Occupy Till I Come. A copy of the book is with the United Nations. A copy of it is with the International Criminals. A copy of it has been with the administration of President John Evans Fifi Adams. A copy has been with the administration of President John Dramani Mahama. The truth is there. However, what I'm going to share with you happened when I went to Ghana and I was in the Assemblies of God Church. From the 6 Philos Street, I had been visiting the Assemblies of God Church. And what the church didn't know, what Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO didn't know, is that the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the national security, the police of Ghana, the police headquarters, the CIA, the FBI, who were using state resources supported by US state and technology to make up false evidence against me in Ghana to try to kill the case that has been before the International Criminals Court since 2011 against Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the US undercover agent and political criminals in Ghana. They had put the church under secret. Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO was under 24/7 surveillance. The church cameras, visible cameras, had been backed into, America call it bargain, had been hacked into. And whenever you gathered at the church, the stakes, the government of Narado, the CIA, the FBI, they were all watching every move of mine when I come to the church. And they were tracking Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO to know exactly what message he's preaching, which message can be traced to the fact of he being an informant to me. They were watching him closely, but he didn't know. There was no way I could go tell the Reverend that this is going on, because that alone would also endanger the church the more. All I had to do is to be recording evidence regarding what was transpiring on camera, on my video camera. So, what made them decide that no, they must kill Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO? I'm going to give us this. We will see it from the church cameras. I will not tell us the date, but everybody that was there in the church that day will know that what I'm saying happened, and it is true. Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO is a man that believed in his people, believed in the church of God, believed in Christ, believed in his culture. His funeral that was held on the 9th and 10th of the March 2019, we would see that there was a video is on YouTube as showing an amazing cultural display, telling how much man of culture that Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO was. Since I started visiting and attending the church, I was being tracked constantly. He himself was being tracked. Every move of his phone has been hacked. They were listening to his conversation just like they were doing to me. In fact, all friends of mine that were so close to me, they were, once you get so, you cannot get, you start getting in touch with me, and your phone has been hacked already. They want to know whether there is other information that I've passed by word of mouth to you, which you would like to pass on to us. So, on that fateful Sunday, Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO, instead of the normal choir procession, whenever I had come to the church, from the main entrance, I sit at the left, one of the left pews on the left-hand side when you enter the church from the main entrance. Ghana, this information that I'm giving the church, their church cameras can prove it that it did happen. Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO trying to let the church understand how much he believed in the culture of the Ghanaian people, and how much of a man of culture that he is. With a team of the church, he was processing from the main entrance in a smock Ghanaian traditional cloth that is noted among the northerners of Ghana. He was in a smock, and that smock, I think it was striped blue and black and some white, I think. And there was the beating of the dondo, and also there was an umbrella that was being held over him, Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO, as he walked from the main entrance of the church through the main aisle, ascended the pulpit, and welcomed the congregation in a joyful, amazing cultural way. What Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO didn't know, what the church didn't know, is to the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to the killers of Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO, the new terrorist, to the CIA, to the FBI, they have had the surest evidence that Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO was being political in favor of the NDC, in favor of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, whom I have been a very good friend of his, just like I've been a very good friend of His Excellency John Evans Fifiata Mills before he died. The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had right from that day concluded that we said it, the man of God was using the pulpit to aid the African whom we want to kill. Don't we forget, the umbrella is the main symbol of the NDC. However, the umbrella before the NDC was a symbol of our chiefs and our kings long before the NDC. So it was total nonsense that the government of Nana Addo Dankwa, the killers, were basing on to kill the man. The smoke is a dress that everybody that knows the history of the NDC will know that they have been very much identified. There was a time that in the Parliament of Ghana, it was all smoke when the NDC was in power during the Rawlings era and the President Mills era. But you would know how much the NDC had identified itself with the umbrella and the smoke. These two things and what happened that day which was never the case, that Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO was hinting me that he was on my side. He is standing with me. He knows my love for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He knows my love for His Excellency John Evans Fifiata Mills. And he is standing with me. That was not it. He was being a man of his culture and his tradition. Let me give us, you see, when he was processing with the umbrella on him while they were beating the dodo, he was in the smoke. On his left shoulder was a white towel. There was a towel on the shoulder. This evidence is in the cameras. That was their reason for which they must base on to kill the man politically, kill him contractually. This happened way before the murder, way before the assassination. Right from that day, I knew that there is a 100% possibility that Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO would be killed. So what I could do was to capture some happenings in the church that betray Listen, the truth is, every church that I've fellowship with since I got married to the undercover agent, the CIA, the FBI, the terror network, they infiltrate the church when I get that fellowship with them. If they can, they recruit some church members to further their cause against me in the church. This thing happens and continues up to this very day. So already they have infiltrated the church beside the bagging of the cameras and have made their decision. Let's kill the man. That would settle the score. And the African will know that we have killed him in this way. Therefore, he's already a dead man. This is just one of the sure evidence. I have told us that the church cameras can prove that it was not a matter of the Reverend Dr. David Nabe family member coming to kill him. There were members of the government, the terror network, who were in touch, who have backed into the cameras. On that day, there were those who were spying on Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO while he was in church. There were those who were networking to ensure that he was murdered. Their faces were invisible. And they did it. Just one evidence given us. Even as we remember Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO, his very first anniversary. It is none but a US undercover agent, my former spouse, that have been behind the killing of the Ghanaian people. And when their killing of Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO didn't get me moved, it strengthened me the more to even start sending documents upon documents to the Flagstaff House, Jubilee House, Confused House, the Office of the Speaker, the United Nations, ICC, the CID headquarters, compelling the government to know that they cannot cover up the killing of my people. So they will step up and use assault against me, use willful murder attempt, break into my room and attack me and murder me. And the office of the IGP was coordinating this evil, the terror network of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to get me murdered. 200 police cars, 3 police helicopters, new Parliament House, to be built. Speaker Aaron Makukwe has colluded with the Speaker of the Parliament of the US House of Congress, Nancy Pelosi, to get the African killed in his own land by his own people. America didn't kill him. His own people killed him, just like Nkrumah's own people killed him. Ghana. So before I left Ghana, eventually back to the US, for the sake of my innocent children, for the sake of the Ghanaian people, that the world may know that I am no criminal, I have not committed any crime against America, that I am free from America. I came courageously, not by extradition. I have not committed any crime to be killed for. I was sold as a slave in the 21st century by wicked politicians of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his cronies, to get me killed for their dynasty seeking. And they have done this evil to the point of they having 2 family members of mine in the mortuary fridges as I speak now. After 5 weeks, they killed them. Humanity and the nations of the world, welcome to the program Testimony New World Disorder. I believe that Ghana will say, and the family of Reverend Dr. David Nabema will say, the Committee for Church Assembly will say, oh, now we know. Everybody that was in the church that Sunday would know that what I just shared with you, it happened. But that it was never the case that Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO was colluding with me, colluding with the NDC or His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or any politician to against the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It was never the case. If we remember, if the church will remember, except for God having been merciful to the nation, such barbarous killing of Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO would have torn the nation totally apart. Church, remember that on 2 occasions, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama had to visit the church, Assemblies of God Church, Tema Committee 4, 2 back to back on his burial, and right after the burial, he was there. Why? Because as a noble statesman, he had to do everything he can. African, calm down. Calm down. We know. We know. But it is well. Calm down. Church, calm down. He did this for the sake of our nation, for the sake of the church, for the sake of the family of Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO. Visited the church on 2 occasions, back to back, during the funeral and right after the funeral on 2 consecutive 2 Sundays. It's an innocent man that was killed. They paid his family member to kill him, just like they paid my brother. My uncle, who is in the mortuary, is totally innocent man. My brother, of the same father and the same mother, has been so diabolical to the family, behind the family, and they don't know that for years that guy is dealing with politics. There's some information that my family is mourning. I don't have to let them know. I have to go home to Ghana and share with them. But the guy has been listening to their phone calls, even up till now. When my uncle's life was taken, the guy and the terror network has to make sure that he is tracking every communication that I make with the family to know what I'm sharing, thinking what information that I'm going to expose him to the family, the wife of my uncle and his precious children. So after I've recorded 28th of December, part 2, what to do. The dawn of 29th, I had called my family, my uncle's family, to see how they are doing. And my brother had tracked the call. They had quickly made him that same dawn to give me a setup call on my phone on behalf of the CIA and the terror network of Nana Addo Dankwa I cut it off. I didn't talk to him. And I had to expose him to one of the children of my uncle, briefly, to let her know that the communication that I had with her, my brother was listening. And he has been doing that to the family for a very long time. Humanity and the nations of the world. The faces of the killers of Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO is Nana Yatiwa Adudankwa Akufo-Addo, Osla Osu, George Anda, Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, Speaker Aaron Michael Quay, and the IGP James Opon Bueno. I know God strategically took IGP Asante Pichu that the evil will be on the head of James Opon Bueno. Tema Committee 1 Police Headquarters, SK Kwachi. These are the faces behind the willful covering up of the killing of our people. Our tax money is being used to pay them, to resource them, to give them allowances for their wives and children, and yet they are betraying the state to get us killed in the interest of one US undercover agent, that they make my children the reward for crimes against Ghana and humanity, and decide that I should be a second husband to the US undercover agent who plotted to get me kidnapped. And while I was being killed by the kidnappers, he was sexing himself up in America. You compare me to go marry her. Announcement, Ghana. Announcement, my wonderful mother, Reverend Dr. Comfort NABEGMADO. Announcement, Tema Committee for Church, Assembly of God. Announcement, Ghana. Announcement, White House. Announcement, US House of Congress. Announcement, United Nations. Announcement, ICC. Announcement, Humanity and the Nations of the world. I will not marry a killer. I would marry a Ghanaian whom God has blessed me and shall bless me with. And I have already proposed marriage to that noble Ghanaian to make Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo and the IGP mad, to give them evidence, to use that as a proof, to base on, to justify their killing of our people. Yeah. Bible says that our God make diviners mad. So Ghana, thank God, I'm married to a Ghanaian. They can kill themselves. My Reverend Dr. NABEGMADO is rejoicing in glory. Church, rejoice. Humanity and the nation will rejoice. The children of the African, Elizabeth and Grace, shall never be the reward for crimes against humanity. I don't owe the undercover agent a dime. She can continue to kill all my family members. But there's one thing I know, that Samuel Sarkodie, IGP, Speaker Aaron Michael Quay, Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo, all the killers will continue to be haunted. No man is coming after you to kill you. Your own wickedness, Madam Undercover Agent. Nobody is coming after you to kill you. Your own wickedness against your children, against your husband, against the innocent people, against innocent of the nations of the world, whom you get lucky to be. That same evil is what will haunt you and hound you to your own grave. Humanity and the nations of the world. It is finished. Reverend Dr. David NABEGMADO is in glory. shall continue with testimony in the world disorder. Even as the new year progresses. God bless you. God bless our homeland, Ghana. We continue at the White House. And my beautiful wife, they can't stop God. God bless you all, humanity and the nations of God. God bless.